We all can be a little obsessed with clothes. We always want to look nice and have the latest fashion. But it's also important that we do find clothes that really fit us. No, it's not just about being comfortable. If clothes don't fit us, they don't. Our bodies don't work as well. Our arms or legs can't move as freely. We're just not going to feel settled to be able to use our minds in a certain sense. We do want to have the proper clothes so that we're fitting into the right settings. So paying attention to clothes is important, especially how they fit. The clothes in today's first reading should have triggered our biblical ears. Actually, two pieces of this story that happened to Joseph. The one at the very end, he was sold for 20 silver pieces. I hope that sounds familiar from your immersion in the Gospels, Jesus' betrayal and Judas. And then he was also, before they threw him into the cistern, the place of holding, almost the place of death, also the place that holds water, in which when he is eventually rescued from that, he's lifted up out of that. I hope that sounds a little baptismal to you all. They strip him of his tunic. That should remind us of when Jesus was crucified. Not only was he stripped as form of maybe one of the worst sufferings that he endured, which was psychological torture, demeaning a man that was killed naked. We always have the G version on our crucifixes. But also trying to strip him of his identity. That was what they were trying to do to Joseph. They were jealous of him. They couldn't take that he seemed to have more attention. They weren't aware, his brothers, of what they brought to the world, to the table, to the family. And so they attacked him instead of looking at themselves. Jesus took on all the ways in which people try to strip down our identities to say, this is how you should be. Of course, we usually aren't good enough in whatever way the world wants to put our identity. The world also wants our identity to be fit into some kind of narrow category or place because it's more profitable that way. And certainly we can compare ourselves. And part of the Lenten season is to take a look at how do we really see ourselves, and are we identifying ourselves with something that's not us, particularly as we've been created by God. See, part of the difficulty of our Christian life is that we see, particularly with the saints, we see ways to live our life, we see ways people can be, but the dying that we have to do is that nobody has ever been created exactly like us. So in order for us to be our true, authentic selves, we have to find something that fits us. And we can't find it outside of ourselves. And the only way we can find that is to put on the white garment, the true tunic, the full personhood of Jesus Christ. That's why either babies in gowns or our older people in their white garment in their baptism are taking on Christ. The only way our life fits, the only way that we can even live in ourselves is to live in Christ. And then the fullness of our unique personhood and humanity becomes clearer. And that we follow Jesus in order to be that gift to the world that God created us to be. There's a little dying and rising, a little cistern time coming back out. That's our continued cycle of our baptismal life that we lead. Let us continue in this Lenten season to not be afraid to be even more giving of ourselves into our life in Jesus, and then find how when we put on his person, we find ourselves, and that we find how not only we fit into God's plan, but how we fit into his mission to change the world for the better.